Howdy, 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 my darling Sagittarius. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's catch up. Let's get into a general tarot reading today. See what's going on with your life. Make some predictions, perhaps. Do a little bit of channeling. See what channeled messages I can get for you today, Sagittarius. This is going to be for the sun, moon, and your rising, Sagittarius. Perhaps a cross watcher here or there as well as your Mercury and Venus. Those two placements as well are very important to me when I do tarot readings as well, so be sure to check out your Mercury and your Venus especially. And yeah, we'll take a look down below, Sagittarius. So you'll notice that there's already some timestamps, and that's because I acknowledge not every single Sagittarius is a social Sagittarius. Some of you Sagittarius are hermits, right? Believe it or not, surprise, surprise. And so I acknowledge that, when you get those tarot readings that focus in on just the social aspect, there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes that's just not part of your prerogative, right? That's something for me personally as well, because I'm very much so a hermit. So I always like to have the separation. So if there's someone that's on your mind that you want to check in on, perhaps, it was, go check it out, see if I'm able to connect to your person that's on your mind, as well as just a general social check-in. If you were to continue down the path that you have been doing, what's going to energetically be developing in your social life there, all right? And then the first part is just all about you, Sagittarius. So let's just get right into the most important subject for today, which is you, right? What's going on with your life, what is manifesting, what is to come, what to be looking out for, Sagittarius. All right, so let's see. We have the Emperor, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups coming in, as well as the Ace of Wands. Back of the deck is the Two of Cups. Ooh, Sagittarius, it feels to me, how do I want to put this? To me, this is like you've been going through a period of time in your life of where you've kind of just been waiting for a moment to be able to be like, see, I was right. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like you're going to be saying, I told you so here soon. There's something that I feel as if you kind of expected to go down. Maybe it wasn't going to happen next week or next month. And it feels like this is something that's been a long time in the coming here. But I don't know, I get like a sense of smugness that you're about to be experiencing here, Sagittarius, where it's like something that you predicted pretty much, or that you called early on in the development stages. Your point was proven right. You're right all along in how you perceive something, and I don't know, I just get the sense of like a sense of smugness coming in from you, Sagittarius, where you're just like, yeah, I was right. So let me know what that ends up being about, Sagittarius. Is this about like someone in specific that you tried to give some advice to and they just didn't listen and it blew up in their face eventually? Intuitively, if I were to really go in on this here, especially because of that Queen of Cups, to me it's like there's certain people that you may not be close to anymore, but at the time when you were trying to give them that advice or give them that message, give them that heads up, you were, and they just disregarded it. And so now it's finally about to bite them in the butt. And so you may not even get the satisfaction to be able to say, I told you so, because you may not even be talking to them anymore, Sagittarius. But, at the very end of the day, you get the satisfaction there, right? You have the Lovers showing up with the Two of Swords. Okay, where are we going with this? All right, the Two of Swords showed up like 10 times for both the Aries and Leo as well. Two of Swords, the Eight of Cups coming in here, and the Lovers, they'll do one more. And the High Priestess. Sagittarius, it feels to me as if you're about to really lean into your zodiac sign here, right? Because you're the traveler. You are the person that likes to move, right? And always have some type of movement, some type of development in your life. You could be a homebody as well, but at the same time, like, you like to feel some type of movement there, and I feel like that movement's about to be happening. And in fact, if I were to really get specific here, Sagittarius, it feels to me as if you're about to be entering a space that's going to be feeling either extremely nostalgic to you, or it's going to be something that's really important for your own soul, right? And so that sounds vague, but also it's going to be very specific, right? Because you obviously will know what's important for your own soul, right? For me, what fulfills my soul is when I'm in spaces with just, people who have like the same interests as I do, right? Finding my own village, finding my own community. That's what, really fills up my cup there, right? So if I was a Sagittarius and I had Sagittarius in my chart, I would look at this here and I would be like, all right, I need to not be afraid of making some drastic decisions, of changing my environment, because by changing my environment, I get to find what it is I've been desperately searching for that I hadn't been able to find on my old path that I was taking, right? And so, what is that to you, right? Obviously, you don't have to tell your business like that in the comments, but I would like to hear it if you would like to share about it there, Sagittarius. But definitely prioritize taking that risk. Prioritize movement right now. You're really about to be in your element, I feel, Sagittarius. Like something's going to be happening even outside of the traits or the archetype of the Sagittarius. I feel like you're really about to be in your element with something or someone, where it's like that's what you've been training for up until this point. I have like this itch like right on my side here. But yeah, something you're about to be in your element for, which it's kind of fitting again once again with the I told you so aspect. Like I don't know, like I feel like you're going to be walking away from this tarot reading today, Sagittarius, with a much bigger head than you may or may not have already had there. Things to be looking out for: 8 of Swords, 7 of Swords coming in there in the reverse with the 6 of Wands. What does the back of the deck say? 5 of Swords in the reverse. Sagittarius, don't do it. To me, this is a sense of where you need to play. Ooh, apparently I'm going through my second puberty, Sagittarius. You need to play the waiting game just a little bit longer, because you're going to win, right? So whether this is a sense of like waiting to hear back from a person, whether it's a sense of, holding back on an action towards doing something, and don't be taking this message as a way where it's like waiting for like the perfect scenario, because the perfect scenario never exists, Sagittarius. So don't be using this as an excuse to, not chase after your dreams. But I do feel like in specific, it's like you feel really stuck right now when it comes to like a problem that weighs heavy on your heart, right? Could be related to what we just talked about. It could be something completely different, right? You could be stressed about bills. I know sometimes that's what's going on with me. So there's just like a bill that's just like, girl, it's like a 10-pound weight on my chest, right? Student loans, honey, whatever that is. And you feel pretty stuck in regard, like you just don't really know the answers to the problem there. Wait it out just a little bit longer. Now, I'm not telling you not to just, stop doing anything at all. Obviously you still maintain what you have been doing, right? Because that's what this energy is connected to. If you were not to make any drastic changes from your patterns and behaviors of right now, this is what would happen. Play the waiting game. If you have been showing up to work every single day and you still haven't heard back about that promotion or that raise, play the waiting game. Do it for a little bit longer. Still show up to work early, or show up to work on time, and whatever that you've been doing, because it's gonna pay off. It's gonna probably take a little bit longer than what you would like it to take, unfortunately. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat that aspect of it, Sagittarius. There's a little bit of a displeasure in that I can acknowledge here, but it pays off so much more to just wait just a little bit longer before you take an action there. All right. So whatever the case is, again, you can let me know in the comments below if you want to be telling your business like that. But that's what to be I can't speak apparently. That is what to be watching out for right now, Sagittarius. We'll see if there's any final messages here in regards to just you yourself. Knight of Swords coming in here. I'll do one more, but I think that's really representing the finality of it. And then the Fool in the reverse. Yeah, to me, that's the finality of it there, Sagittarius. Overall, I like where your general energy is going there. Again, I just keep, like, your entire reading, your energy, I keep on hearing, I told you so, I told you so. Like, you do get such a strong satisfaction here really, really soon, Sagittarius, to prove a point of someone that, like, I don't know, maybe that's, you only feel this way so strongly about this way because maybe you're just clowned on this for so long, or, whatever the case is, but it's interesting. Anyway, Sagittarius, start thinking about somebody, and I'll see if I'm able to connect to them. I'm going to do a spread and talk about the person that I'm connecting to, and then I'm going to do a spread as well as just your current social situation, your social life. If you were to, once again, maintain down the path that you have been doing, what social occurrences can you anticipate, right? So if you don't have a person on your mind, this reading is still going to be relevant for you. But For those that do have a person on your mind right now, Sagittarius, you're thinking about someone from your past here, darling. Their signs have been starting to show up, and you're almost sitting there thinking, be like, man, should I reach out to them and check in on them, see how they're doing there, see what's going on. All right. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do here, but I will tell you that you're not crazy for noticing these synchronicities here. Right. I will just give, like, and this is outside of tarot. I just have to give my own advice here, especially with the Six of Swords there. Like, my own personal advice here is that don't try to revisit this if you're choosing to revisit this, if you think it's just a sign from the universe to reconnect, because that's not the case. I don't feel like there's anything spiritual whatsoever about this actually at all. To me, this is one of those like optional type of things where it's like you have the option to pick up this storyline, to pick up this book that has already started to collect dust, and see if there's anything more to write, any more story to tell with this person. You can certainly do that, but at the same time, this book has already been collecting dust. There's no harm in like just allowing it to keep on collecting dust and just leaving it in the past there, right? For my Sagittariuses that are just generally, wanting some social guidance and, just in their life here, what's going on? The Lovers, the Seven of Swords coming in here. The World, the Chariot, friend. Ooh, what does the back of the deck say, Saggy? That'll tell us everything. The Strength. Sagittarius, I want to just give you the heads up, and more so, and I'm not about the fear-mongering whatsoever, but pay attention to the people around you. I'm not saying that you have people that are close to you, that are like secret enemies or whatever, yada yada yada, whatever. Right? I'm not feeding into that narrative whatsoever. But I feel as if you're going to notice someone's behavior rapidly change. And when you notice that behavior rapidly change, you want to get out of Dodge. You want to separate yourself from the situation so you don't get sucked into their drama. So you don't get sucked into whatever they got going on energetically, all right? And it could have nothing to do with you or everything to do with you, right? But when you notice someone's behavior just take a 180, take that as a sign. Instead of trying to figure them out and figure out what's going on, take that as a sign to just take a giant step back, all right? Because I see this as somebody that's relatively close to you, Sagittarius. So just make sure that you don't make the wrong investments in people right now, because I feel like this could take up a lot of emotional energy if you were to entertain this. All right. Is there anything new in the front for you, Sagittarius, relationship-wise, for platonic relationships, work, friendships, The Empress coming in here, Ten of Wands, Ace of Cups coming in, Four of Pentacles in the back of the deck with the Strength card once again. Now, with all this being said, Sagittarius, I will say someone is going to find their way back to you. To me, this does speak very clearly, specifically on a relationship in your life that you probably don't even think about them anymore. Or if you do think about them, it's just very far and few in between. Or you just think like you're not going to ever hear from them again. I feel like a bridge is going to get mended here. To me, it's like this is a person that you cared about. Maybe they're just, whatever the reasoning is of why you stopped talking with them. The main reasoning for what was going on with them is this baggage that they were carrying. And they needed to go through certain, character development, whatever it was, and take care of those 10 wands before you two would be able to be compatible again. They needed to do their own work, essentially. And I see that they have done the work. And I see that they're going to be showing up here in your life before the end of the year. I feel like intuitively this is going to be more so like summertime of when you're going to see this fully manifest, because I'm being shown the sun shining really brightly there. But I don't know. I think this is something that I feel like will catch you off guard, but it also is going to be something that really you personally needed. Because I don't know why, but I feel like this presence coming back into your life, it really heal something in you, whether it's like your feminine energy heals something in you where it's like this makes you feel wanted or loved, or I don't know, this connection does something to you personally that's really positive. um yeah, that's the tarot reading that I have for you today, Sagittarius. Pretty quick and to the point and direct, but that's the type of readings I like to see, friend, because it lets me know, Sagittarius, that, you're right on the money. You're doing exactly what you need to be doing. You're right on par with where your life should be right now, where your soul should be right now. And so, you know, bar any type of distractions, unexpected distractions here, Sagittarius, you're on a really fast path of quick development. All right, so be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. All right, friend? So, this is the tarot reading that I have for you today, Sagittarius. I hope something in here gave you some food for thought. If something really did resonate with you and gave you like a little bit of a light bulb aha moment, let me know in the comments below how it did, if you want to share your business like that with me. And also, if you want to book a private, personal one-on-one tarot reading with me, Sagittarius, I do offer that. If you look down in the description box, you can see my website that I personally built. If you want to try to book a reading with me at some point, I would love to connect with you. But yeah, until the next time I sit down and connect to your energy, Sagittarius, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And yeah, take care.